Trigger warning. This one is going to get political. John thought it would be a good idea to talk about abortion on today's Not So Critical Update.
Meta, aka Shitbook, tells employees to stop discussing abortion at work. Feels like Mark missed the mark.
Well done.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Good jokes.
I don't know where to start, I guess. Are they monitoring? Do we know if they're monitoring for these conversations on internal communication services?
Yeah. So in the article, which I'm sure you read, they talk about how they're banning it in discussion on their internal messaging system. And part of what employees saw was messages starting to be taken down.
So on Facebook Messenger.
No, not Facebook Messenger.
No,
they call
I know.
it,
No, I'm kidding.
oh.
That's what I was saying. It's like they work on Facebook Messenger.
It's not an appropriate topic for the workplace, gentlemen. Clearly.
Okay, so that's so strange because I feel like
that's me being sarcastic, but just to be very clear there, I do not believe that. I think it's
Sorry, Peter. We thought you were being serious. You're such a conservative in so many ways,
and you love babies so much, Peter.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start, and it feels almost like Facebook is inadvertent or maybe directly taking away choice in a sense, choice to talk about this and to potentially have a conversation that could change someone who agrees with this really fucked up thing that's happening in a lot of states, or in the Roe versus Wade case, I guess. It's Roe versus Wade, right? That's what it's called.
Correct.
Like you have an opportunity. I think you should, as Facebook, you should totally stand up and be like, yeah, not only does this company support pro-choice, but like if you don't, then maybe you shouldn't work here. Like, if you don't agree with us, then you shouldn't
possibly
work here.
They don't. I mean, there's no official statement on their position, but
it kind of says that there is an official statement, right? Like this is an unofficial statement in a way.
Regardless of the specifics involved in exactly what they were banning. So they're talking about abortion, right? But take away what it is that they're banning. The fact that they're banning topics of conversation in the workplace is crazy to me.
Yeah.
My reaction was like, wow, that's a sign of a healthy workplace. Again,
they're attacking every woman that works at Facebook.
Yeah.
If a woman wants to, and again, super sensitive topic for a woman to even discuss, we can't begin to understand this because we're ape men, but if they feel that they're comfortable enough to discuss this at work, you've taken, and that they had it done or something, you've taken that away from them. Who the fuck are you?
And to make it actually a little even like maybe more insulting or worse, for context, they allow discussion, respectful discussion about issues like Black Lives Matter, immigration, and trans rights. So they have actively singled out this one particular issue to disallow employees.
Line is drawn. That's where the line is drawn in the sand.
Yeah.
Like, that is so backwards. It makes no sense.
But I agree with you. I think this is a statement of where Facebook stands on the issue. I think Facebook draws a lot of criticism from both sides of the political spectrum in the US. I would argue that based on their actions, they have helped the conservatives more than they've helped the liberals. But I'm sure people on the other side would argue the opposite. However, in the context of making political statements, that's not worked out great for Disney recently.
They lost their license, right? They're not a nation state anymore.
Nation state. Yeah, that's exactly.
Nation state.
I mean, ultimately, that's true. Yes,
You lost your nation state card.
that's pretty much true. I mean, Disney really is a nation state, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Right. With the what is it? Don't say gay.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were against it though. That's the kind of, you know, the nice thing. I don't like Disney as a company, but they were against the Don't Say Gay bill.
Reluctantly, and then they made a statement. But it is notable that the government is like pushing back. Normally it would have been, but what about my money? Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Mm-hmm.
The world seems just so fucked up at the moment.
Everything seems backwards. Yeah, everything is just
going on, which is just like, wow, this would never have happened 10 years ago. Maybe I'm just
if I was a Christian, I'd say Armageddon is coming, but I'm not a Christian, so suck it.
What's the Jewish version of Armageddon or the apocalypse?
Well, we haven't gotten there yet because Messiah hasn't come. That's the Jewish version, right?
What would it be called, or was it called the same thing? Is it
There's
still
a
called the
word. I
apocalypse?
don't remember because I don't practice Judaism. But I think there's definitely a word for Armageddon. I just don't actually remember. You just triggered a history from like 30 years ago.
We'll just look it up. Go ahead, Peter. You look it up. We'll just chat.
We did a lot last week with Mike was it's in. He gave me the Jewish word for it, but it's in Hebrew, so I can't read it.
Send it to me.
Do you have Discord open? Send it in. This is super interesting.
This is so fun.
Want to know what it says?
It's called Armageddon.
It's called Armageddon.
Okay, nailed it. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
Did you Google Translate Armageddon instead of typing in Jewish Armageddon in the search?
But basically, yeah.
All right. Hey, no. We've got another story that was tied to this one. Twitter is talking about hiding false tweets from high-profile accounts during times of crisis. And this ties to, I mean, it's almost a step beyond even the fact-checking where they put the warning on that says, you know, this might be not true or whatever. Actually talking about suppressing tweets. And the reason I put this one is I actually had an interesting conversation with someone associated with the show who said, well, and it goes to the Section 230 protection that a lot of these platforms have because they are not editorial publishers. They're just platforms. So they can't be held responsible for the comments of their users. And what he said was that if they start censoring the content, now they put themselves in the category of editorial editors. And now it's editorial content, and they should lose that Section 230 protection. So let's start with that.
It's a tough, it's funny because I used to have the stance that I support social media services in this context, that they aren't, the users are the ones who are responsible. But I think we are now coming into a stage in technology and in the world where we do kind of have to hold them a little bit responsible. A good example was the Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, having a deepfake done, obviously by Russia, surrendering the war. This is now becoming an issue. And that was a bad deepfake. It could get way worse. So,
or the first 2 minutes of the shooting in Buffalo getting broadcast live on Twitch. Similar idea, right?
Exactly. At some point, we will have to hold them accountable. You have to hold Facebook or Twitter or these services accountable.
But they're accountable. Like they need to be able to take it down. Like they do need to be able to take it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then one thing that I've said this before, it's the worst part of my job is content which is particularly applicable to children needs to be taken down. And one of my gripes in life is that the big social networks, especially Facebook, aren't doing enough to prevent it. They spend a fraction of their budget on that kind of moderation, and it's just, they spend a few tens of millions and go, hey, we spent millions on this preventing this kind of content online, and it's just such a drop in the bucket for them.
And then you read about these shadow orgs, these shadow teams that are employed usually as contractors by Facebook or Google or whoever, And these are the moderators that are going through potentially endangered content that revolves around children.
Yeah.
This is scarring for life. This is stuff that
these people in African nations that get paid less
they
than
get paid shit.
And they would just get paid, the same as someone. No offense to the people who work in Starbucks.
Right. No, they get nothing, and they're going through all day, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and they're looking at the worst nightmares. So there's no way. How do you even fix this? How do you solve a system like this?
Topic. I mean, I don't really want to go into that too much detail.
Well, we're talking about censorship on social media.
Yeah, and I think that's the disparities. Everybody agrees that should be taken down. But all of a sudden, because we have shit politicians and leaders and influencers who can get away with all their narcissistic lies and fucking whatever bullshit they want to do online. Sorry?
Nothing.
I don't know. Like, we're kind of being forced into it because of that, but that's the argument. Even though nobody argues that we shouldn't editorialize the CSAM content. So now the argument is if they want to take down the content that they're editorializing. I heard Ben Collins on Unplugged podcast from Crooked Media give an example about like if you're the moderator of a Taylor Swift community, which I am obviously, and you have a member who's always coming in and posting about honey baked hams and how they're the best, and anybody who doesn't like honey baked hams should be shot out of a cannon. This is his example.
One of her songs
getting shot out. If it was, it would be applicable to the community, but it's not. So as a moderator, I need to ban that guy. I need to be able to ban that guy, or else it's not a Taylor Swift forum. Now it's a honey baked ham forum. Like this is Colin's example. And Twitter is a community forum. So they need to enforce community standards.
Here's the ideal situation, as far as I'm concerned, right? I think that certain types of information should be regulated and controlled by the government. I don't quite believe I just said that. I don't really trust the government in anywhere, but I think that's where the line should be. Is it illegal or not? Or is it allowed anywhere or not? Mistruths and disinformation that's coming from political parties should be banned and should not be allowed. And if it happens, then it should be taken down. Same with child sexual abuse material.
But that's not illegal. That's the problem, is it's not illegal to lie on.
Right. Whatever. Right, but I think it should be. I think there should be...
Certain people shouldn't be able to. Certain orgs shouldn't be able to. If me, as the commoner, go on Twitter and say 2 + 2 = 5, I shouldn't be banned from Twitter for lying, right? But if a 800,000 million, 2 million follower account is posting potentially damaging political content, that's a problem. That is
just
fake
as
news. That's
a random example. Somebody who was like a president of a country. There's a certain special responsibility to that.
You're thinking of a certain specific individual.
I don't know why you would say that. That's
very strange.
Weird.
That would also prevent them starting their own social network where they could promote their own agenda of lies and disinformation.
But that would be only truth on that network, obviously.
No, that I'm fine with. They should definitely do that.
They should definitely do that.
Do you have anything else on this? Are we done?
Can we please be done?
I think we're done. All right.